an impossibility, okay? So we can talk about the ability. So that's the reason that we are going to talk about today. So we can use this can or could to ask for permission, or we can use this can or could to ask for requests or offers, okay? So here we are going to use this ability. As you know, these kind of words, they got a specific use according to the level, for beginner level or intermediate level, okay? So here we are going to talk about for this beginner level, okay? So we use can or can't to talk about someone's skill, or so we can say she can speak several languages or 5 languages, I don't know, right? So maybe we know people that they are polyglots, right? So here she can speak. It is this phrase, it is to say about the ability that this woman got. So my friend, imagine my friend, she can speak 5 languages, okay? It is an ability that she has, okay? Or maybe your own skills. My students can draw something, okay? So my students can make models, you as an architect, right? So my students can use this program AutoCAD. That's an ability that you have, maybe, okay? So my students can explain about a design, okay? The designs that you make, you can explain them, okay? What's the reason for that design, okay? So we can talk about any kind of skill, maybe, for example, he can swim like a fish, okay? Or he can swim like Michael Phelps, right? I'm not sure if the correct name, but his last name, it is Phelps, okay? So it's an ability that we can describe, or we can talk about a person, okay? So it is not necessary that that person must swim in this moment. It is only an ability that we can admire, that we can explain, or we can describe about a person, okay? As I told you before, we can or cannot or can't when we deny something. They can't dance very well. So I could see that when we were at the party, okay? Or they can't, okay? They can't drive. My best friends can't drive, okay? I don't know, an ability that they don't have it, okay, or skill. So we can use could or could not to talk about the past for abilities or skills, okay? So she could speak several languages, but nowadays I'm not sure. So she can only speak English. I don't know what happened with the other languages, okay? So an ability that this woman got in the past, okay? So they couldn't dance very well, okay? But now if you see them on the dance floor, well, they hit it, okay? To say something. So we can say my students couldn't make drawings, okay? I don't know why, but nowadays They can do that, okay? I don't know, an ability that maybe you used to do in the past, but maybe that doesn't continue in your present, okay? So it is only the use, one use that we can explain about can or could, okay? Remember can or cannot, we are going to use it to talk about for skills or general abilities in the present, okay? So those activities or those skills that you can perform right now, okay? But could or couldn't, it is the past form of can say something, and we are going to use them. It is the same for skills or general abilities, but if we talk about in the past, okay? So here, this is the beginning for these modal verbs, okay? You're going to learn them for the next year in 5th and 6th term. So you can study them, okay, to 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 have better ideas, right? When if the teacher explain you about these modal verbs, okay? And let's continue. Wait a second. Mm-hmm. Okay. So as I told you before, previously the structure it is about we can use this any kind of modal verb with the whole subjects or the whole pronouns. Okay, it doesn't matter if we talk about or if we use this the third person. It is the same. There's no changes. Even with the verb, it is in infinitive with the whole pronouns. And don't forget the complement. So we are going to use this can or could to ask questions and give short answers, okay? So if we are going to use the question form with this can or could only for ability or skills, so we are going to use kind of the same structure, but here we are going to start with the modal verb, later with the subject or the pronoun, and the verb into infinitive. So don't forget the how do you say this? The complement and the question mark. Okay. And the short answers, they are okay. Okay. So yes, I can. No, I can't. Okay. But don't forget to add more details or more information to these short answers. Okay. So can you cook well? Yes, I can. Right? That's for sure. I can cook any kind of dish. Okay. Or can you cook well? No, I can't. Sorry. I only can cook a sandwich. Okay. That's my skill. We can say, could you cook well at age 16? Yes, I could. Right? Because I was living alone. Right? And well, I need to eat every day. Right? Or maybe could you cook well at age 16? No, I couldn't. I am was a teenager. Sorry, I was a teenager, so I couldn't. Okay, to say something. So remember, add more details to these kind of answers. Okay, but as you know, if you work on classroom, A and B are the activities. 10 seconds. Now, as you know, you are a student, right? So on these years that you are going to study architecture, it's very important that you must develop some skills, right? So we can say like if you can't make drawings, well, that's the reason that you're here, right? You can improve many skills. So if you got problems in maths, so you can study hard to study or to learn this subject, right? Sorry, these signatures. So it's about that we can practice or we can do something every day, right? If you want to improve your English, you must do something in English every day and different. As I told you before, you can listen some songs, you can watch some movies, TV series, reading. You can read a lot, okay, in English. So we are going to start this lesson B, okay? This lesson B, it is called risk. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever take risks in your life? And what kind of risk have you ever take? Okay, who can tell me? So a risk, it is about when you do something, but maybe you feel insecure, when you feel nervous, when you are afraid to do something, right? For example, one of the risks that I've take I've taken before, it is when I applied for this for the entrance exam to the university. Okay, it was a risk because um, I wasn't. Um, I was, for example, I didn't feel confidence with me because when we apply for a test, it is a competition, okay? It is kind of a race because I am not the only one that I did apply for this entrance exam, okay? So it was a risk, but I did it. So I made it, okay? So it was a very important risk in my life because I want to study at YM, okay? So have you ever taken a risk? Can you share your experience? Or for example, well, the first time that you learn to how to drive a car, right? That's a risk because maybe uh, you didn't know about nothing about how to drive a car, but every day you practice, right? You did practice, and well, you already know how to drive a car, right? So when we learn how to drive a car, so there's a risk that we can have an accident, okay? So that could be, or maybe what is it? Mm, maybe, well, another kind of risk that I did take before, it is like the first time um when I played in a tournament, okay? So I love tennis, okay? So the first time when I played for a tournament, I was so nervous, okay? I was afraid because it was the first time that I played tennis in a tournament, okay? So it was a risk because if I didn't hit the ball, so in the correct way, of course, so I could break my leg, okay? Or maybe if that ball could hit my face, my nose, my eyes, and any other part of my body, so it could be dangerous, okay? Because we must have this skill to follow the ball, and you must run, sorry, and you must hit the ball, okay, with the racket. And there's a risk with my body if I if I don't do a warm up, so I can have some injuries on my body. Could be on my ankles or my knees, maybe, or even my back. Okay. So it's very important the warm up before we play any kind of sport. Okay. So athletes they risk sometimes their life because if they don't do very well the movements, if they don't train hard every day, they can have an accident or some injuries. Okay. So that's the reason to this topic, risk. Okay. So here, as you know, if we are going to learn vocabulary, we must read a lot. Okay. And let's try to understand the context before that verb and after that, sorry, that word. Okay. We got here the word bank. It is brave, it is afraid. Brave, a brave person, yes, of course. A person that it is brave, he or she is aware about the feeling of fear, but it doesn't matter. Okay, if you are aware with this kind of feeling, you are a brave person because it doesn't matter if you feel afraid in that moment. So you already doing that action or that exam or something. Okay. And of course, the opposite for brave, it is afraid. It is, in other words, like fear. So dangerous. Sometimes we can use this word dangerous when our life is in risk or when something is well. Maybe if we want to, we have an accident, okay, but we can avoid that. So the opposite for dangerous, it is safe and sound, okay. For example, you are at home right now and you're safe, okay. So difficult when something it is hard to do, okay. And the opposite for difficult, it is easy, okay. So when something it is how do you say this, when you are able to do something in the best way without any complications, easy, okay. Now let's read this. So we are going to read this small paragraph and later we are going to talk about this, okay. So risk takers, that's the name that receive this kind of people, are brave people. They aren't afraid to try dangerous or difficult things, okay? Like walking on a wire. They are curious. They like to ask questions and learn new things. They aren't afraid of making mistakes. They might start their own company, for example. It might succeed or it might fail, but risk takers still take a chance and try. So we can say those are the words that we can use to describe this kind of people, risk takers. So they don't have this kind of doubt that I'm gonna fail, or they have this doubt, if I fail, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna try again and again and again. Okay? To say something to describe these people. Okay? So maybe we got here these sentences. A risk taker might move to another country, or a risk taker might talk to a new person at a party, or a risk taker might do the same job all his or her life. A risk taker might do the activity in the photo. What's the activity in the photo? Is this one. Okay. A group of people watch their friend walk on a wire in Yosemite National Park, California, US. Okay. Maybe this is an activity that it is too dangerous for me. Okay. So maybe I never going to do that. Okay. Because for me it is too dangerous. But maybe for these people, they're not. Okay. So we can say that these men or women, I think, so it is a risk taker, okay? Because they don't have, well, they have this feeling, fear, but they don't matter about that, okay? So maybe, well, when I watch this, the first time when I watched this picture, I feel goosebumps, okay? Because I don't like this kind of activities. Only those activities that involves my my feet are on the soil, okay? So here maybe I couldn't do that, okay? So that's the reason to explain about a risk taker, okay? But let's see the next activity, for example, the reading, okay? Let's see what's about this. Maybe these kind of words, we are going to find them here, okay? So we are going to use this, we are going to talk about this, a brave pilot, okay? This is a real story, even you can find it on internet. So it's very interesting. Barrington Irving with his plane, okay? So this man is considered a brave pilot. Why? Let's find that reason, okay? Because his life was in danger, okay? Well, this is kind of a situation, right? That can happen, but not always we can live this kind of experience, okay? Now, let's see what about the activities. We are going to do this activity B. Read the rest of the article, choose the correct answers, okay? And underline the information that help you choose the answers. I'm going to explain what's the reason to underline the information, okay? But we got 5 sentences with 2 options, each one, okay? And letter C, we are going to choose the correct answer in each sentence. For example, in line 26, give up means something. These only 3 exercises, okay? But what's the reason that we are going to read and we are going to underline the information, okay? So as you can see here on this reading, we got these numbers 1, 5, 10, 15, and 30 to 30, okay? So if you're applying for a test, so you're going to find these kind of numbers, that these numbers are explained about the order of each line on this reading. This is the first line, the second line, the third line, fourth line, fifth line, okay, to 30th. So there's a reason. Imagine that we know the correct answer for this number, for the question number 1. Well, we are going to underline where did find this option. For example, it's here. That's the reason for, that's the correct answer for number 1. Well, in a test, you must do this, okay? You must underline where did you find the correct answer for the question number 1, because we must explain through this way where is the correct answer, what is the line that supports your answer on the first question. That's only the reason that we are going to underline the answer that we maybe think that that's the correct answer for the first question, okay? And what happened with these words? Choose the correct answer in each sentence. For example, in line 26, give up means continue, quit, or talk. Where is the line 26? It's 25 and 26. It's here. I didn't give up. What's the meaning for that? We got 3 options, okay? I know that in a test, you won't have a dictionary or maybe your cell phone to look for that question, that phrase or that word into a dictionary or a Google Translator maybe. So that doesn't happen, okay? So that's the reason that you must read a lot, okay? And if you understand what's the meaning for this give up in English, you are in another level, okay? So first of all, we are going to listen this reading once. Later, we are going to read the questions in activity B. And later, we are going to listen again this reading, okay? Let me share the sound. And let's listen.
A brave pilot. At age 23, Barrington Irving became the youngest person to fly alone around the world in a small plane he built himself. Since then, he started a company called Experience Aviation. It helps curious students learn about flying and other subjects like science and math. Students can study in the flying classroom or learn how to build cars. Here, Barrington Irving talks about his love of flying and his flight around the world. Why do you fly?
I love being in the air between the sky and the earth. It's exciting, but I also feel very calm.
Are you ever afraid?
Yes, I was very afraid one time. It was during my flight around the world. I had to fly from Japan to a small island called Shemya, near Alaska. The flight was difficult. It was very windy, and then there was a bad storm. At one point, the team on the ground sent me a message. They said, "You have to go back to Japan." And I said, "I don't have enough fuel to go back." It wasn't safe to continue, but I had to keep going. The team asked for my parents' phone number. It was the end for me, they thought, but I didn't give up. When I got to Shemya Island, I had 12 minutes of fuel left.
What a frightening experience.
Yes, it was, but I got to Shemya safely. I made it, and I learned a lot from the experience.
Oh my God. So that was intense, right? For this man. So let's read this. Irving flies because it's a good job or he likes the feeling of flying. Number 2, Irving's trip from Japan to Shemya was dangerous because the weather was bad or he didn't have enough time. Number 3, Irving didn't go back to Japan because he didn't have enough gas or his plane stopped. Number 4, the team asked for Irving's parents' phone number because they wanted to help Irving or thought Irving might die. So number 5, Irving says the experience taught him a lot or was exciting. Okay, let's listen again. And you're going to tell me on which line is the correct answer, okay?
A brave pilot. At age 23, Barrington Irving became the youngest person to fly alone around the world in a small plane he built himself. Since then, he started a company called Experience Aviation. It helps curious students learn about flying and other subjects like science and math. Students can study in the flying classroom or learn how to build cars. Here, Barrington Irving talks about his love of flying and his flight around the world. Why do you fly?
I love being in the air between the sky and the earth. It's exciting, but I also feel very calm.
Are you ever afraid?
Yes, I was very afraid one time. It was during my flight around the world. I had to fly from Japan to a small island called Shemya, near Alaska. The flight was difficult. It was very windy, and then there was a bad storm. At one point, the team on the ground sent me a message. They said, "You have to go back to Japan." And I said, "I don't have enough fuel to go back." It wasn't safe to continue, but I had to keep going. The team asked for my parents' phone number. It was the end for me, they thought, but I didn't give up. When I got to Shemya Island, I had 12 minutes of fuel left.
What a frightening experience.
Yes, it was, but I got to Shemya safely. I made it, and I learned a lot from the experience.
Yes, of course, it was a frightening experience, right? Oh my God. So, let's see. So, who can tell me about this? Irving flies because it's a good job or he likes the feeling of flying. What do you think?
Likes the feeling of flying.
Letter B, right? Thank you. Very nice. So, where did you find, or where you can tell me, well, on line 1, on line 25 is the correct answer. Remember, we must support our answer.
The line 10.
The what? Sorry?
The line number 10.
Number 10, okay. So here Barrington Irving talks about his love of flying and his flight around the world. We can say about his love, okay, of flying. Okay. So what happened with the next one? Thank you. Number 2, Irving's trip from Japan to Shemya, I think, was dangerous because the weather was bad. He didn't have enough time.
And the letter 8. He didn't have enough gas.
I'm sorry. I can't hear you. I can't hear you, sorry.
Este es the letter B.
B. He didn't have enough time.
No,
Okay,
letter A.
that's right. The weather was bad. Where we can support our answer. Which line?
Line 20.
I'm sorry. No sé si me escuchan o yo no, o yo soy la del problema. Oh, cielos. Escuché que hablaba alguien, pero no entendí qué dijo. Disculpen. ¿En qué línea podemos decir que argumentamos esa respuesta?
The line number 19.
19. Okay. The flight was difficult. It was, windy, and then there was a bad storm. Ok. Bueno, como explicaba, esa es la razón por la que debemos entender la pregunta, dar la respuesta y poder argumentarla en la lectura. Esa es la razón por la que tenemos estos numeritos en cada línea. En línea de la 1 a la 5 no está todo numerado, pero al menos te das una idea, ¿no? De que en dónde puedes argumentar tu respuesta. Este tipo de ejercicio es muy común en una certificación, ¿ok? Que, bueno, a veces no se encuentran con las mismas palabras, pero para eso, bueno, debemos aprender como esos sinónimos de ciertas palabras para poder entenderlo. Si no sé suficiente vocabulario, por lo tanto, no voy a poder entender la lectura, ¿ok? Aquí sí importa la gramática, pero más que todo el vocabulario. ¿Cuál es el uso de esa palabra? ¿Ok? ¿Cuál es la función de esta frase? ¿Cuál es la función de todo esto? ¿Ok? Entonces, bueno, esa es la razón de este tipo de ejercicio, ¿ok? Vamos a ver, si trabajas en Classroom, B y C es la que importa. 10 segundos. Ahora, pues bueno, debes de copiar esto para que puedas argumentar tus respuestas. Now, let's talk about this letter C. In line 26, give up means, I know that here in line 26, it is this phrase, but I didn't give up. What do you think is the correct meaning for this phrasal verb, give up? It is continue, quit, or talk. Remember, many words in English, they got different uses and different meanings, sorry. But a lot of them, they got synonyms, okay? So it's very important to understand, like, give up, a synonym or another meaning for this word, it is quit, okay? In number 2, in line 29, frightening means hard, exciting, or scary. Line 29, okay, is this frightening experience? Okay, it is an adjective. The function for this word, it is an adjective, okay? And the meaning for this word, it is scary. Okay? Or another kind of synonym for fear. Okay? So in line 30, Irving says, I made it. This means I did something successfully, poorly, or slowly. And 30, it is, I made it. Okay? It's a phrase. It's, a clause. It is successfully. Este tipo de ejercicio también es posible que te lo encuentres en una certificación. ¿Ok? Porque me menciona, bueno, qué significa, cuál es el otro significado de esta palabra o de esta frase. ¿Qué quiere decir cuando yo menciono o uso esta frase? ¿Ok? Les vuelvo a repetir. De nada sirve que leas si no se entiende, ¿no? Por lo tanto, es válido utilizar un diccionario. En práctica, en un examen, obviamente no es posible utilizar ni el celular, ni pues sí, ningún diccionario físico, en libro, por ejemplo. Nada de eso. De hecho, hasta está separado, muy separado con otras personas, así que no puedes hacer, pues mucho, ni estirar, ni ver al lado, ¿ok? Ese sería un tip que te sugiero, que es leer, ¿ok? Intenta identificar los usos de esa palabra. Por ejemplo, can. Podemos utilizarlo como modal verb, ¿ok? O can como un adjetivo o como un noun, perdón. Can of beans, lata de frijoles, ¿ok? La palabra run es una acción, correr, se identifica, es fácil, pero si decimos run the company, dirigir la empresa, ¿ok? A manager runs the company, ¿ok? Ahora, si decimos run out of time of milk, ¿ok? Quedarse sin tiempo o nos quedamos sin leche, ¿ok? Se acabó esto, ¿ok? Son 3 significados que tiene la palabra run o 2 significados que tiene la palabra can, ¿ok? Pero es importante leer, leer, leer y leer más, ¿ok? And let's continue with this. If we want to explain more ideas, we must connect them. How? With these special words that they are called conjunctions, okay? We can explain a lot of information, okay? And that's great. But remember, we need to add more color to our English, okay? To have a better explanations about something, any kind of context, any kind of situation, okay? So, as you know, this is like, what's a clause, okay? And of course, the complete sentences, okay? In a sentence, we can find 2 or more clauses, okay? So, we got here these words like because and so, okay? But this is isn't enough for you. Let me show you this. Connecting ideas, okay? What's the reason? What's the purpose for this? So we are going to use these words that we can call them conjunctions, okay? Conjunctions are words that links other words, phrases, and sentences, okay? Today we are going to talk about only 4 conjunctions, and they are the most common, okay? We got but, or, so, because, okay? So let's start with but. So we are going to use but to talk about for an opposite idea or to make a contrast with the same idea. For example, It's freezing in Moscow, okay? But it's warm in Rio de Janeiro. So here we got this, it's warm in Rio de Janeiro, is making a reference, but in this an opposite idea to this city, this it's freezing in Moscow. Okay. So here we got the opposite idea with the first sentence. Okay. Now, what happened with the next one? It's cold, but sunny in Lima today. Right? So here, we don't have here the an opposite idea. It is only making a contrast. So it is the same idea with the same sentence. It's cold, but sunny in Cuernavaca today. Right? Because it's too early to feel the warm weather. Okay? Anna loves oranges, but she hates pears. Okay? Here it is showing an opposite idea. Okay? I speak English, but I've never been in England. Is making this I've never been in England is making a contrast to follow the first idea. I speak English. Okay? Tom ran and ran, but he missed the bus. Yes, of course. Can happen, right? I'd like to go, but I don't have any money. I like to go to the cinema, right? But I don't have any money. It is making a reference. I got the desire, okay? I like to go. But the thing that can stop me, it is I don't have any money. Okay? That's the use for but. Okay? An opposite that shows an opposite idea or a contrast. What happened with or? Or it is to give choices or options. It is easy, this kind of conjunction. We can go to the beach or we can visit the zoo. Well, I choose the beach, okay? Is it warm or chilly outside? Because the reason I want to know how's the weather and I would like to use the correct outfit for the day, right? Or maybe we are at the restaurant, maybe, or a friend's house, maybe. So do you want coffee or tea? Tea, please. Okay. You can have, imagine that your parents is telling you this. You can have Samsung Galaxy or iPhone 12. You cannot have both, okay? Come on, mother. So it is, well, I choose iPhone 12, of course. Okay. We can have a holiday or we can save the money. Oh no, I choose to have a holiday. Okay. To say something. You can go to the cinema or you can visit your aunt. Well, for this time, I go to the cinema. I choose this, okay? Or to give choices, options. And you can see both are complete sentences. But, well, sorry, we got two clauses in just one sentence or just one word with a complete sentence. Okay? So it is a conjunction that introduces a result. For example, it's raining right now, so I take the umbrella. I think about if I don't use the umbrella, I'm gonna wet, right? And that can't happen, okay? My hometown is Cuernavaca, so I know it well, okay? I know every place in Cuernavaca, any restaurant, any museum, okay? Peter doesn't study, so he will fail his exams. That's for sure, right? We're not very hungry, so we will eat a salad, a light meal, okay? Remember, so introduce a result, but it follows the first idea, okay? We cannot change the reason, okay? So we must follow the first idea for the first sentence, okay? And according to that, we can give a reasons. And the last one, because. It is used to explain why something has happened, okay? For example, Jimmy wore a scarf because it was cold outside. That's the reason that Jimmy wore a scarf, okay? The frog looked cool because it was wearing sunglasses. This frog, okay? She doesn't go to school because she's sick. That's the reason that this girl didn't attend to school. Or we can start with the conjunction. Not always it can happen this, but yes, of course. Because it rains, I wear a raincoat. Can happen. We can start with the conjunction, and later we can say as the result or the reason that something happened, and of course the idea. Kate was happy because she won the competition. That's the reason that she's happy right now. She was happy. Okay? So those are the uses for these words. So, because, or, and but. Okay? Those conjunctions are the most common in English. Okay? Of course, there's more, but here we are going to start with this. Here only we are going to use because and so, right? But don't worry. It's better to learn more details here. A, B, and C, there's the correct activities. Hago comentario, la próxima semana hablamos de tu proyecto final, ¿ok? Y pues nada, chicos, tengan excelente día, excelente fin de semana. Cuídense mucho. Bye, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Gracias.
Bye, bye. Sara, ¿estás ahí?
Yes, teacher, I'm here.
Oye, quiero hablar contigo. Bueno, ahorita que se vaya.
Sí, claro.
Bueno, vamos a sacarlos porque algunos creo que todavía siguen dormidos.